are getting paid. At that point, it wasn't a huge business. We had 20, 30 employees. We were doing a few $1,000,000. I got it up pretty quick.
Were you just here in Arizona at that time?
That was just Phoenix, okay. And then we went to Tucson in 2012. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I decided that you got to have good people you can trust, because without trust, you don't have anything. And I didn't know how much it meant to me until I think back, and I'm like, man, trust, because I didn't have any checks and balances.
Yeah.
I didn't have, there wasn't a system in place to make sure that I can look at this software, this QuickBooks, and this and that. So it was like, if I leave, can I trust that everything's going to go good? And a lot of times people say yes, and they come back and their business is gone. Everything was running smooth. I had these jobs that needed to get installed, and you come back and 2 employees quit. That's why the trust. Mm-hmm. Without trust, it's like, in any relationship, I think trust is a big driver, and the communication's also huge. But a lot of times what business owners do is they go, I'm going to go to Hawaii, but I'm not going to make a phone call. I'm getting away. I need to clear my mind. And I can make it 2 days without, I'm in my system all the time.
Checking.
And it's not about phone calls, but now I log into a lot of stuff. And it's simple logins. And I am the chief financial officer of the company. I'm the one signing all the checks. I'm the one taking on debt to grow the business. I'm the one, leasing vehicles. And I'm also the one that, hopefully, as this thing begins to grow, potentially $1 billion company.
Mm-hmm. So here's a question, because I've run into this with myself personally. Was there a time where you felt that you knew everything? In other words, that you weren't looking for help and weren't looking for assistance?
I would say there was a time that I wanted to make my own mistakes. I'm kind of a stubborn guy that no, I don't need a lot of help. And, as the time goes on and I go into more businesses that are successful. See, I don't go into a lot of businesses my size. I go into 100, 150, 200 million. And I just pick up these certain traits. And then I decided not to be a jack of all trades, but a master of one. So when I hire a consultant, I look for someone at the size I'm growing to, inevitably here really shortly going to be doing 100 million a year, that could bring me one major key. But when I say one major key, it's either marketing or it's call bookings and or systems. Someone that could just help me if I need a better way of tracking performance improvement plans and setting that stuff up. So I like to find someone now, if I do consulting, lead me in the right direction. If I want to do an email blast campaign, I really like to find someone that specializes in work with thousands of people. But I got to tell you, that's why we decided the home service expert, is because I spent a lot of money on consulting, learning about business owners, talking to general managers, talking to call center managers. I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And I believe we got some of the state-of-the-art techniques and softwares and sequences that you put on autopilot. And that's what I love, is you can just check things really carefully, but really easily. Mm-hmm. And know exactly what's going on within your business. And I'm like, I love the feedback from other businesses on the podcast, but I got to tell you, it's changed the way we do work. But what we've been able to put together here and some of the other things we're working on, it's mind-boggling, and it's game-changing.
Totally.
So.
Now, I know that with a lot of businesses, some of them, I've seen companies that are doing $1 million, $2 million a year, they're scared to death to spend $3,000 or $4,000 a month on marketing. And what's your budget on marketing right now? I know you've mentioned it on the podcast.
Just last month alone, I spent $75,000 on TV.
Okay.
So on Google, it's usually around $100,000 a month on pay-per-click. On Valpak and Money Mailer, I'm spending about $80,000 just on those. I'm in Clipper. Those are just 3 or 4 to name off.
Right.
It's
so what happened before? When did you make the switch? And I'm just kind of curious, what got you to, I guess, be fearless with your marketing?
It's really measuring, and I think that's one of the things we offer in the Home Service Expert is I don't want to really, the first thing we do is to check, do you know what your call booking rate is? Mm-hmm. Because call booking and then measuring your acquisition costs and knowing that you're running into those jobs, I think we provide some pretty cool tools to be able to just know those numbers, because really before we could work on your business, we need to know some key performance indicators, some stats about what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these small business owners, they don't have those, and it's so easy. We can work with them for a month and get that all to know, listen, we changed this, and this. We'll give you a 10 times multiplier for the year. Like, you can pay for us for the year, we'll make that in a month.
Yeah.
And it's so simple and it's so easy. So what I like to get is a no risk guarantee of somebody that could come in and tell me that I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And if you don't like it, you don't have to pay me. Because those are the guys that I always found that are like, look, I met this guy the other day. He goes, Tommy, I could connect for the real estate lead gen stuff. He goes, I'll get you a new buyer a day. He goes, well, how about this? Because I'm doing a test program. Mm-hmm. You pay me if you don't like it. He goes, honestly, I don't want you to pay me. This is a test program. It's a pilot program. But he goes, I think I could deliver way more value than I'm even promising you. But I'm promising you this. And my partner Dustin listened to it, and he goes, dude, that was like a no-brainer. That was like, let's sign up today. Yeah. He was just really cordial about it. He told us who he worked with. He gave us some testimonials. I said, this is a pilot program. And I said, absolutely. And it's something that I'm not great at. And personally, what I've found, and this is going to be a shocker to a lot of people out there, but I don't have the time to do it all. Sometimes I have to pay $70, $80, $100 an hour to get something done. But let me tell you this. It might take this person 10 hours, where it would take somebody else at $15 an hour, 2,000 hours. Because I always ask myself now, how much is my time worth, and how do I get it there the quickest? Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where you got to really understand that I can do an email campaign or a text message campaign or a mailing campaign. And we can spend 6 months preparing it, but the time, the opportunity cost is so much more than getting it done right away, professionally, with a high open rate, with a high contact rate, with a proven technique that works. And it's worth paying that, because guess what? I mean, the time is worth something as well.
Yeah, it's worth paying it because it's taking it off of your to-do list, isn't it?
Well, the ROI. You think ROI can be looked at several ways. Money is what people do. They go money, 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 money. Mm-hmm. But they never think about their time. Mm-hmm. And if I could give you back 10 hours of your week, what can you do in those 10 hours? Now, I'll tell you too, a long time ago, when I was first getting into business, I used to waste a lot of time. I used to waste time working, and I don't like the cliche of the E-Myth, because everybody says it that I talk to. Every podcast, every single person, work on the business, not in the business. What does that really mean?
Yeah.
And we do a phone call every morning with all my managers at 8:15, and we say, how are you going to work in the business today, or on the business? Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, I've gone over this a million times, but still some of them are like, I got to go to customer, put out fires. I got to go fix this truck. I got to go this. And there's still, those managers in my minds don't have the potential to move up as quick as I'd like them to, because the guys that are saying, I'm going to go meet this person to work on our marketing campaign. I'm going to do a ride along with this person to work on their conversion rate. I'm going to be at a job fair to work on recruiting today. Right. Those are the guys that are focused on really building the business. Mm-hmm. And so many times owners go back to that in the business. You know, I'm going to go do a few quotes. I'm going to go check out the warehouse, sort out a few things. No, that's all in the business. That's all day-to-day activities. And to get that concept right and truly understand that, so what I recommend, and I did this myself, is journaling throughout the day. And how much of your time, like literally most guys are at about 20% capacity, if that. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're going to, it's time for lunch, and then they get interrupted. They're got a minute guys. Yeah, I got a minute. 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 I didn't get shit done today. I have one important thing to get done, but it's so important and so big, I'm going to put it off till Friday because it's huge. Well, guess what? May went by, June went by, July went by, and you're like, that one big thing is still there. But if you really sat down for 5 hours uninterrupted, and so many people, and I'm not, literally, a lot of people listening, they say, I'd rather work from home. If I'm going to get anything done, I'm going to work from home, and I can get so much more accomplished.
Because you don't have all the distractions.
You don't have, the distractions, but that's BS. I mean, at the end of the day, close your door, tell them, don't interrupt me. I don't care if the place is burning down. Literally, I'll hear the fire alarm. That's the only time I want you to interrupt me.
Yeah.
If the place is burning down. What I'm working on is so much more important, because guess what? All these fires that you're interrupting me, I'm working on fixing and preventing those fires. Until you can let me prevent them, we're going to keep going on with these fires. And that's just, it's not a way to live, it's not a way to grow, and it's no way to have a good relationship with your family, your kids, and anybody that's close to you. And it's something that took me a long time, because literally now we have our top 5 board that we're working on, the top 5 things that are going to impact the business the most. And the biggest thing I learned from every consultant I've ever worked with, every $100 million plus company, is have you made the time on your schedule? And when you go make that time, is there an agenda? And do you fight tooth and nail to get that stuff accomplished? Not from A to M, not from A to T, from A to Z, and fully implemented. If that happens and you can continue to work on that list and you get 3 things done a week, you just accomplished 150 things that year that worked on the business. And until you start making time for that and working on yourself and meditating and working out and eating right, that's one thing. But also work on your employees and work on the processes and the systems, and whether it be manuals or call booking rates, or just making them better at handling objections, or finding out why don't you sound good on the phone? I mean, when I hired you, you did. Is there something going on at home, or is there something going on here? But the more training you can do, it's like, I went from wanting to train 2 hours a week for each employee, now I'm at I want to do 6. And I know eventually, this is going to sound crazy, 10 hours a week on a 40-hour week? That's crazy. But what if I said in those 30 hours they could do 5 times the results of what they were doing for those 10 hours? And guess what those 10 hours do? They make me and you have a bond. You're committed. People say they care about money, and they do. Money is very, very important, but they also care about